Hey there, and welcome back to Sleeve M. Today is a very exciting day. I'm just about 1 month out from my surgery, and so I thought this would be a perfect time to go over my weight loss so far. I decided not to do this every week because of the fact that my overall purpose of this is just to get healthier, to feel better, and to feel better, moving around, things like that. But obviously, in order to do those things, weight loss is a huge part of that. And so I decided that every month I'm going to show you what I've lost and what my statistics are. But first, I just wanted to apologize for not making a video last week. I was so sick. I went to the urgent care. I was diagnosed with just a sinus infection, but I had this horrendous cough that kept me up all night, and I just felt and looked pretty miserable, and I just didn't feel like everybody needed to see that. But I'm doing much better. I've been on some antibiotics, a cough suppressant, and then Mucinex is my best friend. So I'm feeling much better, and I just kind of wanted to go over some big changes that happened. So last week on Wednesday, I went in for my 3-week checkup. I was excited when I went in for my 1 week checkup because they told me I could have pureed foods. Well, this one is even a little bit more exciting. They told me I can have ground meats, and fish. So Daniel and me have been planning suppers and eating together again, which I think has been really good for our relationship. That's what we used to do before. I would text message Daniel when I was on my way home from work, and he'd start cooking dinner, and we'd both sit down and have dinner together and discuss our day. So we're back at doing that, which is really exciting. And so far I've been to 3 restaurants now. The first one I went to was Pho, and it was a really good restaurant. They have 2 different types there. They have like a spicy, and then they also have just kind of a regular broth that's not spicy. I'm not allowed to eat spicy foods yet, which is a big bummer for me because I love to put sriracha on everything. But we went, and their regular broth is really, really good. And I just asked for it with no noodles and no meat, so just literally a bowl of broth. But that was when I was sick, and so it was perfect for a meal that night. I also went to Olive Garden, which was a little bit more difficult. It was the Sunday before I had to go in on Wednesday, and I knew on Wednesday they tell me that I could have fish. So I ordered their salmon picante and just kind of picked off the capers, things like that, and just ate like the fish. I was shocked because I was full literally after eating just a 1/4 of the fish fillet. So the salmon picante is on their lighter menu. I think it was a little over 500 calories for the entire plate. I couldn't eat the zucchini. I could only eat a 1/4 of the fish. Of course, they asked if you want super breadsticks. I can't have any breadsticks, nor is that something that I should really ever kind of venture in again. But I did get the soup, and I got the gnocchi, and then just kind of, sipped on the broth first, which was really good. But that soup lasted me 4 meals as well. So this 1 piece of salmon equaled 4 meals for me, which back in the day I would have I probably would have got the salad. I would have definitely had a plate of that. I would have had 2 to 3 breadsticks. And then I probably would have got like a pasta dish because it is the Olive Garden. So I was just really shocked about how little I could eat. And then the 3rd restaurant we actually went to Alamo Drafthouse, which is a movie theater, but they serve actually pretty good food there. And one thing I really like about the Alamo Drafthouse is that it does not smell inside compared to some of like the Cinnabar and places like that I've been to. And I was a little bit nervous because I looked at the menu ahead of time, and the only thing I could see I could eat was some edamame hummus. And when I looked at their menu, they had a brunch menu, and I was able to get 3 breakfast tacos with they had like eggs and sausage and green chili and cheese. I obviously couldn't eat all of it, but I did eat the egg with the cheese. And the sausage, Daniel tasted first and said it wasn't really spicy at all, so I did have a few bites of the sausage. Although there wasn't much sausage in those burritos, even though they advertised it that way, but it was okay with me because I'm not quite to the point where, you know, any kind of major spices are still not okay for me. So I was shocked at that. So they gave you 3, you know, like little burritos. Back in the day, I would have ate all those, no problem. Yesterday, I ate the insides out, so I didn't have any of the tortilla. But the first one I ate, and then I felt what you have to kind of do now is you take like a few bites, and then you kind of listen, is your stomach full? And then you take like another bite and listen. I was able to eat the inside of 1 full taco, and then probably about an hour and a half into the movie, I ate about, I don't know, probably 1/4 of another taco. So I ate about another 1/4 of the second taco, and then probably about a half hour after that, or getting close to the very end of the movie, I opened up the third one because the second one had been cooled, and they were wrapped in tin foil, and ate about another 1/4. So I had 1.5 insides of the tacos, no tortillas or anything like that, and I have to say I was really full and really satisfied with that. And so just thinking to what I ate before the surgery to what I'm eating now is just completely different, and it's really, in some ways, I'm just shocked about how little food makes me so full, and then I'm also really excited, and Daniel was just like, I can't believe you did that, that's so awesome. And it was like, I don't think it was really my mental mentality to eat so little. Like, I knew my stomach would be very upset with me if I ate any more. But I think as like time goes on, it'll become, you know, just like the norm. I think it takes some time for your mind to kind of wrap around that those small portions are what's going to fill you up. But on the other note, what's really odd is eating those small portions at all those 3 restaurants it was like I was satisfied after eating them. I didn't feel hungry, but I didn't feel like I needed any more, which was kind of what I was looking for in this procedure, was just feeling that satisfaction and not having to eat, you know, large quantities to do things. So without further ado, I know Guinness is excited. My weight loss. So there's kind of 2 weights I wanted to talk about that I started off at. On January 3rd, I went in for my pre-op surgery to get cleared so I could have it. And I weighed in that day at 378, which is probably actually one of my highest weights. I kind of cheated when I decided that, when I finished my 90-day diet and decided that I was going to do this procedure, I was like, I better eat all my favorite foods because I'll never be able to have French fries or whatnot ever again, which now post-op Emily would say that is pretty ridiculous, because realistically after 6 weeks you can have whatever food you want, but you'll never have the same quantity. But over time, if you don't decide in your mind to wean out those foods, then it'll catch back up to you. So for instance, my kind of final meal was at this place called Cuba Cuba here in town. I love Cuban food. I love their rice and beans. I love their tostones, and everything that goes with it. And so the dish I like is the steak with this chimichurri sauce, and then they have these shoestring French fries that are just fabulous. And so when I go out in the future, you know, obviously I'm going to do my protein first, but if I want to take a bite of a potato, it's not going to kill me. They just said, you know, 1 bite of carb and you'll feel satisfied. And I agree with that now. But before surgery, I thought, oh my God, you know, I'm just giving up so much of my life. You know, it's going to be so traumatic, but it's really not. So if you're thinking about going to surgery and that this is your thought, do not feel that you have to eat all your favorite foods before you go in for surgery, because you'll still be able to have them afterwards, and you'll probably have considerably less, and you'll probably just be just as satisfied. But I did that. So that's probably one of the highest weights I've ever been. And then when I went in on the day of my procedure, I weighed 366. So that's a 12-pound difference. But again, that was with pure liquid diet for 2 days prior. So if we count from my surgery or from my pre-op date, I'm now down 36 pounds, which is huge. The first week after surgery, I lost 33, and then the next two, I was expecting to be kind of a low number because after you have such a big loss, usually what happens to me is the next numbers are like 1 pound or 2 pounds, which is exactly what happened. If we go with the day after of my surgery, I was down 21 pounds at my 1 week and down 24 pounds at right now. So just kind of, if I was kind of hoping that maybe I could get some help from you guys which weight I should really count as my starting weight. If you just want to comment down below, I'm kind of leaning towards my pre-op date, just because that was me, you know, fully hydrated, having food in my belly, everything, which is probably where I really truly was. But like I said, I did kind of eat naughty before my surgery. So let's get on to the photos of what I look like. As you can see, I'm wearing the same outfit as I am in today's video, and you can't really see much change. I did do my measurements, and so I measured first my neck. It went from 17 inches to 17 and a half. My bust stayed about the same, about 53 inches. My waist went from 54 inches to 52.5 inches. The hip had the big loss this week from 63 inches now down to 60. And then in my left arm, it went from 21 inches down to 20.5 and 5 inches. My right arm stayed the same at 21. So the hip was the big weight loss. I do feel like I noticed it a little bit in my clothes, but not so much. Of course, I think this is going to take more time to kind of lose it, to show you any, you know, extreme weight losses. But if you subscribe to my channel and click those notifications of when I'm posting, probably in like 3 to 6 months, we'll probably really see some dramatic differences. The goals I have for this week are making sure I'm getting all my meals in, making sure I'm eating every 2 hours, making sure I'm getting my protein in. I'm still supposed to be getting between 60 and 70 grams of protein a day, incorporating meat in more frequently, and then also I want to make sure that I'm staying well hydrated. I might also start, they said at first, when you start eating, you want to quit drinking 15 minutes prior before eating and then 60 minutes afterwards, which I don't really know how it's going to work with my schedule because we are so busy and I don't sit at a desk all day, so that could be a little bit difficult, but I really want to make sure I'm making sure I'm staying hydrated, getting all of that in, and continuing on this journey. So I hope to see you next week. I think every week just kind of gets a little bit more exciting. I feel so blessed to have, you know, to be able to share this journey with you, and I'll see you next week.